Judges chapter 6. And the children of Israel again did evil in the sight of the Lord, and he delivered them into the hand of Midian 7 years.
And they were grievously oppressed by them, and they made themselves dens and caves in the mountains, and strongholds to resist. And when Israel had sown, Madian and Amalek and the rest of the eastern nations came up, and pitching their tents among them, wasted all things, as they were in the blade, even to the entrance of Gaza. And they left nothing at all in Israel for sustenance of life, nor sheep, nor oxen, nor asses. For they and all their flocks came with their tents, and like locusts filled all places, an innumerable multitude of men and of camels, wasting whatsoever they touched. And Israel was humbled exceedingly in the sight of Madian. And he cried to the Lord, desiring help against the Midianites. And he sent unto them a prophet, and he spoke, Thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, I made you to come up out of Egypt, and brought you out of the house of bondage, and delivered you out of the hands of the Egyptians, and of all the enemies that afflicted you. And I cast them out at your coming in, and gave you their land. And I said, I am the Lord your God. Fear not the gods of the Amorites, in whose land you dwell. And you would not hear my voice. And an angel of the Lord came, and sat under an oak that was in Ephraim, and belonged to Joas, the father of the family of Ezri. And when Gideon his son was threshing and cleansing wheat by the winepress, to flee from Midian, the angel of the Lord appeared to him, and said, The Lord is with thee, O most valiant of men. And Gideon said to him, I beseech thee, my Lord, if the Lord be with us, why have these evils fallen upon us? Where are his miracles, which our fathers have told us of, saying, The Lord brought us out of Egypt? But now the Lord hath forsaken us, and delivered us into the hand of Madian. And the Lord looked upon him, and said, Go in this thy strength, and thou shalt deliver Israel out of the hand of Madian. Know that I have sent thee. He answered and said, I beseech thee, my Lord, wherewith shall I deliver Israel? Behold, my family is the meanest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house. And the Lord said to him, I will be with thee, and thou shalt cut off Midian as one man. And he said, If I have found grace before thee, give me a sign that it is thou that speakest to me. And depart not hence till I return to thee, and bring a sacrifice, and offer it to thee. And he answered, I will wait thy coming. So Gideon went in, and boiled a kid, and made unleavened loaves of a measure of flour. And putting the flesh in a basket, and the broth of the flesh into a pot, he carried all under the oak, and presented to him. And the angel of the Lord said to him, Take the flesh and the unleavened loaves, and lay them upon that rock, and pour out the broth thereon. And when he had done so, the angel of the Lord put forth the tip of the rod, which he held in his hand, and touched the flesh and the unleavened loaves. And there arose a fire from the rock, and consumed the flesh and the unleavened loaves. And the angel of the Lord vanished out of his sight. And Gideon, seeing that it was the angel of the Lord, said, Alas, my Lord God, for I have seen the angel of the Lord face to face. And the Lord said to him, Peace be with thee. Fear not, thou shalt not die. And Gideon built there an altar to the Lord, and called it the Lord's Peace, until this present day. And when he was yet in Ephraim, which is of the family of Ezri, that night the Lord said to him, Take a bullock of thy fathers, and another bullock of 7 years, and thou shalt destroy the altar of Baal which is thy father's, and cut down the grove that is about the altar. And thou shalt build an altar to the Lord thy God in the top of this rock, whereupon thou didst lay the sacrifice before. And thou shalt take the second bullock, and shalt offer a holocaust upon a pile of the wood which thou shalt cut down out of the grove. Then Gideon, taking 10 men of his servants, did as the Lord had commanded him. But fearing his father's house and the men of that city, he would not do it by day, but did all by night.
And when the men of that town were risen in the morning, they saw the altar of Baal destroyed, and the grove cut down, and the second bullock laid upon the altar, which then was built.
And they said one to another, Who hath done this? And when they inquired for the author of the fact, it was said, Gideon, the son of Joash, did all this. And they said to Joash, Bring out thy son hither, that he may die, because he hath destroyed the altar of Baal, and hath cut down his grove.
He answered them, Are you the avengers of Baal, that you fight for him? He that is his adversary, let him die before tomorrow light appear. If he be a god, let him revenge himself on him that hath cast down his altar.
From that day, Gideon was called Jerubbaal, because Joash had said, Let Baal revenge himself on him that hath cast down his altar.
Now all Madian and Amalek and the eastern people were gathered together, and passing over the Jordan, camped in the valley of Jezreel.
But the Spirit of the Lord came upon Gideon, and he sounded the trumpet, and called together the house of Abiezer to follow him.
And he sent messengers into all Manasseh, and they also followed him, and other messengers into Aser and Zabulon and Naphtali, and they came to meet him.
And Gideon said to God, If thou wilt save Israel by my hand, as thou hast said, I will put this fleece of wool on the floor. If there be dew in the fleece only, and it be dry on all the ground beside, I shall know that by my hand, as thou hast said, thou wilt deliver Israel. And it was so. And rising before day, wringing the fleece, he filled a vessel with the dew.
And he said again to God, Let not thy wrath be kindled against me, if I try once more, seeking a sign in the fleece. I pray that the fleece only may be dry, and all the ground wet with dew.
And God did that night as he had requested, and it was dry on the fleece only, and there was dew on all the ground. From PrayLamp, peace be with you.